Welcome to the show, guys. Joseph Robert Camo, the fantasy football counselor. Got 5 bold predictions here for you guys that could actually happen. Yes, these bold predictions may sound bold to the consensus, the consensus, but not to Council Nation Lion mentality, guys. I'm excited to dive into these 5. I'm going to dive into some stats behind them and some details on why these bold predictions could actually happen. Very interesting episode. You do not want to miss this one. It's a good one. Now, I want to do story time with the counselor before we get into this as well real quickly. Before I even do that, make sure you guys get that 16-round draft solution because it is the game changer, guys. Optimal players draft in each round, sleepers, breakouts, everything you guys need to crush your leagues, guys. First ever and only video training. Consensus rankings will not help you. Get 16 rounds, guys, at thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Use code TUBE20. Save yourself 20%. All right, guys, let's dive into this, okay? First bold prediction. Actually, no, let's do a quick story time, actually. I want to talk about story time, and I'm going to keep using this as an example here, is Najee Harris last year, okay? Let's talk about Najee Harris. Everybody had him outside the top 10. Everybody and their mother had him outside the top 10. Why is he now top 5 running back? Why is he in the top 10 now? Why? Because he finished on top last year. So they're copying and pasting. Why did not the mainstream? Well, they're sheep. We obviously know the answer, but I'm playing hypothetically. I'm just asking you guys questions to get thinking. Why is it that the sheep did not see that Najee was young, talented, opportunity, volume? There's no other running back in that committee. Why did they not see that? And their only excuse was like when they called him out was like, hey, he had a bad O-line. Listen, they improved the O-line. Najee a little bit concerns me this year a little bit because of that suspect quarterback situation. I'm not sold on Trubisky and all that, but maybe Pickett does well. Kenny Pickett. But either way, point I'm trying to make is rankings don't help you. So as I'm going through these bold predictions, something to think about when we're talking here in story time is that you got to think outside the box. What may seem bold to the consensus mind, the consensus mind, is not so bold and actually pretty realistic this year once you factor in all the variables, okay? So I do bold, but I do realistic bold, okay? First one here, bold prediction. Now, make sure you guys subscribe, thumbs up, and all the answers are in 16 rounds. So get 16 rounds, use code TUBE20, save yourself 20%. First bold prediction here, guys, DeAndre Swift will finish behind a rookie running back. Not sure which rookie running back. Last year's pretty blatantly obvious here. Najee was going to be a top 10 guy. This year, we've got an interesting scenario of different running backs coming in, different committees. There isn't like a clear-cut winner. Now, the advantage here is, though, guys like Kenneth Walker is walking into a situation where Carson sucks and Penny sucks. Dameon Pierce, who could be the starter. Tyler Algier, who could straight up be the starter as well in Atlanta. Breece Hall, right? All these different situations. There's no clear-cut winner that I can see is going to finish top 10. But here's a good thing. You can get these guys for value. So we're talking fantasy football draft strategy in this episode as well. You can get them for value. But here's the thing. One of them should and could and will surpass DeAndre Swift. Because Swift will bust. And that's injury included. I don't care. I'm factoring in injury here, okay? I'm not sold on DeAndre Swift. He peaked at 151 attempts in the past couple years. He's not going to get the volume. I don't trust the Lions at all. So I'm not sold on DeAndre Swift whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. And he's sitting number 8 on the consensus rankings, which is absolutely ludicrous, okay? Absolutely ludicrous. So DeAndre Swift, for me, I think will bust for sure, and he'll bust hard. And another rookie running back, maybe 2, maybe 3 rookies could surpass him in fantasy points by the end of the season. That's bold prediction number 1. I don't even think that's bold. I'm fading Swift completely and getting a value rookie running back later and getting a real workhorse running back earlier on. I don't care. PPR, 1-point PPR. I talk in 1-point PPR, and I still got Henry number 1 amongst running backs because volume and opportunity, talent, touchdowns, yardage, rushing yards, all that fun stuff will prevail. It doesn't matter PPR. Some people just go for these scat backs. They're Eckler, glorified scat back. Now, Eckler had a pinnacle year, 12 rushing touchdowns. It's not typical of him, right? Look for Spiller to come in and get some of that goal line work. I'm not sold, all right, guys? So we're looking at Swift, scat back, top 8, ludicrous. Not buying it. Number 2 here, bold prediction. Saquon Barkley will finish top 5 amongst running backs. And this is not even bold at all because they've got Christian McCaffrey at 2. McCaffrey finished, where did he finish last year? I don't know, 30th, 40th amongst running backs, finished 10 games in the past 2 seasons, got injured without even getting touched last year. New offense from the one that was when he thrived, I'm not sold. Now, the opportunity is that he doesn't have much of a committee. Chuba Hubbard can and will be a factor, potentially, just for sheer preservation of Christian McCaffrey. But we're not talking about McCaffrey. All we're using him as a point of reference here, that Saquon Barkley is 19th on the consensus rankings. Contract year, guys. Contract year. It's make or break. He has to do something this year. His career is over if he doesn't. That alone should be enough reason. Don't even mention the fact that he's ultimate elite talent. Not to mention he's 2 years removed off his injury, and he played last year full season, but he was preserved to save him for this year. It's a make or break season literally for Saquon. Contract year, improved O-line, focal point of that offense, volume, no committee, ultra talented, and immense value. This is going to be the league winner this year. He is a steal, and he's sitting 19th on the consensus rankings. It blows my mind, and I absolutely love it. This is a good thing. It's good that the consensus do this, actually. It's amazing. Saquon Barkley still going to finish top 5. Bold prediction. May sound like it, but I see this guy finishing number 1 amongst running backs. That's how good he is. The talent and opportunity is there. The only one that I could see surpassing him is maybe Taylor, Najee, and Henry. But again, look for Taylor to get a decline. I still think there's a ton of ceiling for Saquon. He's going to see some stacked boxes, no doubt about it. But volume and talent will prevail. Saquon Barkley, top 5, bold prediction number 2. Bold prediction number 3, Adam Thielen, guys, will beat Justin Jefferson in fantasy points. I want to stand corrected here. I want everybody to understand the disclaimer that I am not telling you to draft Thielen in round 1. I'm telling you to fade Jefferson in round 1 and get Thielen later for an opportunity that he surpasses Justin Jefferson. Why do I say that? And why is this bold prediction realistic? Well, very simple, guys. If you look at the touchdowns, they're on par. Thielen gets more or equal to touchdowns than Jefferson. Number 2, if you look at their target count, go back. I implore you, go look at the stats and target count. Well, I could just tell you, they were on par all the way through 9 weeks. There were some weeks where Thielen had more targets than Jefferson, and there were some weeks where Jefferson had more targets than Thielen, but on par. Then Thielen fell off near the end of the season, got hurt, this and that. But I'm taking Thielen after round 5 or beyond, and I'm fading Jefferson and loading up with my running back. Thielen will finish ahead of Jefferson in fantasy points, injuries included. So don't come and tell me and say, well, yeah, you were right, Joe, on this crazy bold prediction, but Jefferson got hurt. I don't care. He's due for a decline then. He's had 2 pinnacle years. Injuries due. You got to factor in all variables and get the value where you can get it. And I like the Thielen value. That's my bold prediction. Bold prediction number 4. This is very interesting, guys. And a lot of people will shake their heads. The consensus will never say something like this, but I think this is actually possible, and that's why I'm drafting the 2 underdogs here. Bold prediction here for you guys. Combined points of Amari Cooper and Courtland Sutton, right? 2022 fantasy football combined points of Courtland Sutton and Amari Cooper will be greater than the combined points of Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. Very viable. You guys are like, well, you're crazy, Joe. Listen, copy and pasted last year, guys. Adams and Hill are literally being predicated on last year's top stats, right? But they had Mahomes and Rodgers throwing to them last year. How are they expected to finish in the same spot they did last year with 2 suspect quarterbacks throwing the ball and other wide receiver targets there, with Waddle being there as the one, who was the one last year, and a suspect quarterback with Tua, and then you got Waller and Renfro there for Adams. These guys are going to decline. The mainstream are ranking them based on last year, which is absolutely ludicrous. In comes Amari Cooper, who becomes a clear-cut wide receiver 1 with the young Deshaun Watson, barring any type of suspension. If he doesn't get suspended, it's going to be great. If he does, it's going to bring Cooper down a little bit. But Cooper and Watson, and you've got Russell Wilson and Sutton. I mean, this is phenomenal. Like, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're getting him for value. Amari Cooper sitting 18th on the consensus. Sutton sitting 23rd, while you have Tyreek at 7 and Adams at 3rd, and literally copied and pasted from last year. And Tyreek Hill's volatile to begin with. He's got these big boom games, but that's on big plays predicated on the pass from Pat Mahomes. Now there's no Mahomes. So what I'm trying to tell you is this, okay? Sutton and Cooper are value. You can get them for later, and their combined points will beat Adams and Hill. That's my bold prediction. That's what I'm going with. It's crazy, but I'm rolling with it, all right? Bold prediction number 5, I'm going with my boy, my guy, Matt Ryan. He's my boy. the guy is going to finish top 5 amongst quarterbacks. Now, again, this one's a little bit of a reach, a little more unrealistic to the degree that there's so many other good quarterbacks, from Herbert to Josh Allen to Mahomes to Rodgers to Russell Wilson to Watson to Kyler Murray to Lamar. It's going to be hard for Matt Ryan. The guy doesn't get it done on the ground with his feet. But improved O-line, Alec Pierce, good deep threat. They've got, Jonathan Taylor's going to be, facing stacked boxes potentially. More time for Ryan to throw the ball with an improved O-line. Listen, I see top 10 very viable. And I'm not saying go draft Matt Ryan top 10. All I'm saying is you can get him for value as a backup quarterback with top 5 upside. Matt Ryan finishes top 5, maybe top 10 amongst quarterbacks. That's my bold prediction. So there you have it, folks. Swift will get beaten down in fantasy points by a rookie running back. He's sitting top 8. The closest to that in rankings is Breece Hall, sitting 21st. One of those guys should beat, maybe a bunch of them, or maybe all of them, injuries included, could beat Swift. Bold prediction 1. Bold prediction 2, Saquon Barkley, top 5. Amongst running backs is very viable, considering CMC's at 2 right now, and he sucks. Adam Thielen at number 3, beating Jefferson in fantasy points. Get him for value. Fade Jefferson, get a running back. 4, Cooper and Sutton beating out Tyreek Hill and Adams. 2-on-2 combined fantasy points. Cooper and Sutton win in fantasy points by the end of the season. And number 5, Matt Ryan, top 5, top 10 in fantasy points amongst quarterbacks. Bold predictions, guys. Leave a bold prediction below here on YouTube. Subscribe, thumbs up, and get that 16 rounds at Draft Solution. Use code TUBE20. Save yourself 20%. I appreciate you guys. I'm out. We'll talk soon.